please be aware that the following podcast may contain adult themes and adult language. Also, this is just for fun, and these are just our opinions. We're not experts, just really, really emotionally invested.
รายการต่อไปนี้
Welcome back to That's Such BL, the podcast that gives you your fix of Thai BL, with a scoop of Asian dramas, a dash of Western queer media, and a sprinkling of controversial opinions. I'm your host G.
And I'm your other host E.
And we have here for the whole episode T as well.
I'm sure you're all looking forward to hearing from me again.
Now, you're joining us for the whole episode because this is the first episode back, second season, baby.
Mm-hmm.
We decided to keep going.
No one asked.
And we're going to have just kind of like a chill episode. We're going to talk about...
We're going to dish.
Yeah, we're going to dish. We're going to spill the tea.
Chat shit.
Yeah.
As we usually do.
We're just putting a microphone in front of us.
Because a lot has happened. We've had a bit of a break. And in that break, everything has just seemed to happen in the BL world, obviously. So we need to talk about it.
Yeah.
We need to kiki.
Kiki.
But I'll start us off with some updates and news from some of the series. So some announcements we've had in the break that I thought was pretty cool is Between Us, the series with Bun and Prem, will most likely begin filming in April.
Oh,
So
I see it's
soon.
filming.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
so
But they have quite a fast turnover for these things, don't they?
oh yeah, I'm guessing it will also come out later this year.
Yeah.
But it's not confirmed from the company. It's Prem said that the plan is to start filming in April. So maybe we'll be getting some more kind of teasers about that soon, because it was confirmed pretty much almost a year ago that this series was happening, but then nothing after that.
Right.
So I mean, obvious reasons why, but yeah, no news until Prem said this. So I'm looking forward to promo shots. I'm looking forward to like a plot, like anything. Just give me anything.
Yeah,
I've been waiting for this series.
You're gonna get your food. For real.
Yeah, I'm so excited about this series.
It'll be good. It'll be fun.
Other announcements are Love Stage. We talked about this, didn't we? Because we are all aware of Love Stage, the yaoi anime. So when it again came out of nowhere, this seems to happen with some series. They're just like, there's kind of no pre-warning about it, no kind of like underground rumblings. It's literally just bam, we're doing this live action yaoi.
I wonder if that's because it either people are just so good at keeping news under wraps in the entertainment industry in Thailand, or because these decisions are made extremely quickly.
Well, people have been wanting a counter turbo series for a while. This seems to be how the thought process goes. If a couple are shipped quite heavily by fans, then companies will obviously give them a series eventually. But what that series is usually just very random, which is what we're getting here. Love Stage starring Kauna Turbo.
Yeah, well, I think the most unusual part of that is that Love Stage is quite a few years old now. Like,
yeah,
I think it came out. I think the anime came out like 2015, 2016, something like that. It's quite old considering. Like, it's 5 years on, and there's definitely kind of more relevant titles out there that you can adapt. But interesting. I mean, if you haven't seen the anime, it's a very, very funny concept. Back in the day, I actually read So I read the manga, watched the anime, and read the light novel as well. Because the light novel is about the older brother character,
right.
and the manager, who have that pre-established relationship.
Yes.
And that's quite interesting as well. I mean, it's quite a fun, well-written series. The author of the manga, actually, if you are interested in that, writes both BL and GL, and has written quite a few interesting titles, which would be kind of fun to check out.
Definitely.
But yeah, no, kind of an odd choice, but something that we know we like, and it was very, very popular. So I can see why they would choose that.
It's interesting casting. What do you think about the casting choice?
I'm not sure. Well, I'm not familiar with.
Well, Kauna you definitely know, because Kauna was long in time.
Oh,
but
right.
his heavily shipped couple is Kauna Turbo.
Yeah.
Which we got.
Who's playing who then? That looks kind of cool. But we showed me a picture of Turbo. I'm not sure I'm familiar what Turbo looks like, because I thought the whole thing was like.
I'm not sure where their ship couple has originated from. All I know is that they had a very brief cameo in the beginning of Oxygen, and everyone freaked out about that. And but I don't know where their couple has originated from.
Oh, cute. Okay, interesting. The reason why I ask is that I think in Love Stage, Izumi's character is very much based on the fact that that's very cute. I'm just being shown images of them. That's so fun. Is that Izumi's character is mistaken for a girl. So I'd be interested to see, if we have any drag kind of
that is interesting, because so far Thai BL has not really gone that kind of direction with BL. They kind of like to stick to the manly man side.
Apart from that one scene, for my Max Tool fans out there, that one scene in Together With Me season 2 when Max is in full drag for a scene for pretty much no reason, and he looks amazing.
I am so disappointed that wasn't a recurring thing.
I know.
He looked great.
He looked fantastic.
He really looked great.
I mean, that was amazing. And also, Tool on what's it called?
Oh, like lip sync battle.
Lip sync battle.
Yes.
When he dressed up in drag for, was it Blackpink? No.
Yes, it was
it Blackpink?
because he was playing the Thai member, Lisa.
Yeah.
Which is
he looked incredible too. So we need more drag. And do you know what? Interestingly, this opens up this whole new sort of dialogue for Thai adaptations of Japanese BL.
Yes.
Super interesting, which there is quite a lot of in the last, I would say, 4 or 5 years. There is actually a lot of Japanese BL which is about drag. Which is kind of about, well, maybe not drag so much, but cross-dressing at least.
Oh yeah, I mean, we've got loads of Asian dramas going back years and years into the noughties, where it was popular for girls to like dress as boys and have that kind of vibe going on.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a very popular trope.
Yeah, it really was.
And
come on, Oran.
So I'm hoping that has kind of made its way to Thailand.
Yeah.
Now. I definitely think they need to open up the femme BL side of the whole thing more as well, which I think Love Stage will help to do. There's definitely someone in the BL circuit right now in Thailand who is trying to like push for these things.
Yeah.
I can tell that. But yeah, I'm really excited for that.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun.
When I saw the announcement, I was just a bit like,
Yeah, it seemed random.
It is a bit random, but it'll be fun, I think.
And I'm glad that Kauna, who is just such a talented singer, is going to have, I really hope, a chance to sing in this.
Yeah, I think the character is a singer.
Yeah, but what I mean is like,
I see.
You never know what random things they're going to cut out. So
Yeah,
I think thank you for casting a singer in a role where
Yes.
they'll probably be singing. Which well, maybe we'll talk about that later. But, yeah.
Yeah, we have thoughts on that.
Looking forward to it.
Okay, so Between Us, Love Stage. Also, Osan's Love remake.
Oh, your favourite.
Woo-woo!
Oh, tell us about Osan's
Okay, so I saw this announcement, again, really randomly on Instagram. If you are a long-standing listener of the podcast, you will know that I, Admin G, am a big fan of Osan's Love, the Japanese BL And it was announced that Hong Kong are going to be doing a remake, which honestly just blows my mind. I mean, I didn't think Oh Sounds Love would be touched ever again. Because...
Why?
No, because I have a love-hate relationship with it. I love it. I love the series, but it is absolute chaos. I mean, there's like, what, 3 series? There's 2 or 3 series of it, but each series has a different plot line. It's like the same actors, or some of the same actors, but like a different universe, if you know what I mean.
American Horror Story.
a little bit, but like it's centered around the same character of this kind of like mid-30s guy who is single and like hopeless in love, and then it turns out that there's like this like group of men around him who are trying to like woo him and stuff, but he's like, oh, I'm not gay. It's like that's the main storyline of most of what happens. But they recently did a film which I watched not too long ago, which was amazing. And I thought that was going to be it. I thought that was going to be it for Oh Sounds Love. It was never going to be touched again. I was like, leave it in the past. It's fine the way it is. But it's going to be remade. I'm excited about it. I just hope that it's going to be remade slightly differently. I don't want it to be exactly the same thing as what Japan did. I want it to be kind of refreshed, if you know what I mean. Because I think it's at its core, it's a very good storyline. And some of the concepts are very funny. Like there's always like an older man who's after him, and then there's always like a man around the same age as him who's after him. And I think it's very comedic, and I enjoy it a lot. And I just hope that they're not going to mess it up, like as much as you can mess it up. It's already pretty messed up, to be honest, but. But yeah, very excited about Oh Sounds Love.
We'll definitely have to catch the original series before this one comes out, so you'll have someone to talk to about.
It really is like a special series. I mean, it's very of its time.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping the remake will be, like I said, a refreshed version. You know, bring it to today's standards, I guess. Okay, so I also we talk about this a lot. We really do, but that's because there always seems to be a new update on it every week or so.
I already know what you're talking about.
So,
oh no.
This is probably like one of the last times we're going to talk about it.
Okay.
Until the new series comes out, obviously.
If the new series
goody.
comes out.
So, Two Moons has lost its entire cast.
Of course. We joked about this. And it's fucking
ages
happened.
ago we joked about this.
I'm worried that we have some prophetic powers. We've spoken this into. Maybe we should talk more positively about Two Moons 3, and then it wouldn't have. I feel like we jinxed it.
No, because if that were true, then Pavel would have stayed at least, because we talked about Pavel staying, but
and that was such a good idea. Oh well.
They've all dropped like flies, one after another.
So once again,
obviously there's a reason. There's like an underlying reason why.
Yeah, it's shit.
I don't think that's the only reason though. Like, because they'd clearly like thought about it. Like, it was one after another. Like in quick succession, they dropped out. It was it was Earth first. Then there was a break, and then it was like the rest of them. You know, yeah. I think it's only no. Benjamin was the last one to drop out. So.
Is it that they dropped out, or they were like booted from the project?
Well, this is the question. None of them have officially been booted by the company. They've all kind of come out with their own statements, just saying that they're moving on to other things.
That is interesting.
That's why I'm saying like that. I feel like there's an underlying like reason for all of this.
Totally. I would pay to be a fly on the wall in the boardroom where the crazy decisions they're making are being made, because like.
But the third season is still set to be going ahead. What's it called? The Ambassador or something?
Yeah.
2 Moons 3 The Ambassador.
Oh my god.
Which apparently isn't even about any of these couples. It's about a new couple.
Well, that's why they've all been fucking booted.
Well, I don't know,
they're not even in the story.
I thought they were all going to be featured still, but like as kind of more of a a background thing. And
It's weird. I think they should, at this point, reallocate all the funds from this project, keep the script, change the names. It's obviously so far removed from Two Moons it can be. Do you know what I mean? And just do something different. Two Moons is cursed. It's a cursed franchise.
Give
now.
all the money to Star Hunter.
Right.
I'm telling you right now, Gen Y was a pretty good series, and I think they should just continue with those couples, to be honest. Right, I didn't want to talk about Two Moons too much anyway, but that's the big update. They're going to have to get a completely new cast if they're wanting to still include those couples.
Oh
I still
God.
don't really know, but that is all we know so far, so we'll just have to wait for the next update, I guess.
Basically.
First, right, I wanted to talk about the Kim Porsche trailer, because we haven't talked about it.
We haven't talked about this?
We have not talked about it on the podcast.
Right.
Not fully, not
Right.
like a discussion, so
Well-
here we go.
I'm ready. Let's talk about it.
So the Kim Porsche trailer came out quite a while ago now. Now, let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
Unity.
Mhm.
If you were to think like, oh, the first teaser trailer for a new series, you would
Yeah.
think, okay, maybe like 40 seconds to 2 minutes maximum long, right? Right? You would
Potentially
think
even less than that.
Maybe
That was-
even less
yeah.
than that. How long was the first Kim Porsche trailer?
Oh,
10 minutes.
yeah.
It was literally 10 minutes. It's a feature-length film, in comparison. I mean, this is kind of the problem. I think sometimes trailers, particularly like these kind of trailers, almost show you like everything. I mean, this really did kind of show you everything,
Yeah.
but what it did show me, I loved.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, this isn't going to put me off in the slightest. I mean, yes, it is a bit long and it definitely could be snappier, but I don't really care, to be honest with
No.
you.
Yeah.
I'm just happy to be along for the ride.
Yeah. I came into this trailer thinking this is a new show with, I think, a new production company with a smaller budget, and I already have an expectation of what the budget spend looks like on screen for a lot of Thai dramas, and I think it's going to be less than that. And it wasn't. It was way above my expectations. So beautiful. They've obviously put a lot of thought into their lighting, their like mise en scène, all of that. Like it looked nice. It looked really appropriate for the genre. I'm desperate to watch it. I know trailers show you the best bits, but I don't see how, given that is the sort of like the general standard, how the series could be disappointing, because it just looked so beautiful.
Well, this is the thing. I think that it almost wasn't showing. I think it was kind of teasing us. Not even like the best bits. I think it was just kind of giving us a taste of what's to come, which I guess is, the job of a trailer, right? But yeah, I completely agree with you. It looks fantastic. It looks campy as hell, which I'm so excited for.
Like,
And
what was it you said earlier? Campy gangsters.
It's
like,
campy.
It's right up your street.
It gave me like West Side Story vibes almost.
Baz Luhrmann, Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah,
like,
definitely had Baz Luhrmann vibes for sure. And you know me, anything with like gangsters, criminals, I'm all over like a rash. It's very, very up my street, and it looks great. It looks great.
Now, I've had problems with BL trailers in the past. I've actively like talked about how much I hate
and recut them.
how much I hate trailers sometimes, because they basically just show you exactly
They give you
how
everything,
it's
yeah.
going to end. However, in this 10-minute long trailer, even though it was 10 minutes long, it didn't give me any kind of clue as to how the series is going to go, what the exact plot is.
That's true.
I mean, it did kind of start getting a bit plotty during like the 5-minute mark, I guess. It was, the way I felt is the first half of the trailer world built. We knew who the two main characters were. We also knew what backgrounds they were coming from, why it was going to be a problem. We also knew that they were going to get together, which isn't much of a spoiler because it's a BL. We know that's going to happen.
Well, this is the thing. Did it say they were going to get together? It said that they,
well, they
obviously
hook up.
It should, yeah. Well, that's the thing, but it doesn't.
That's
show...
what I mean. That's
Yeah.
what I mean. But
Yeah,
we
yeah.
know they hook up.
Yeah.
But then after that halfway mark, it's less about world building and more about showing us intense
the plot.
scenes. So it kind of goes into more of like just kind of like flashes of like
Like here are the
interesting
beats of
visual
drama.
things.
Yeah.
Something that I love and hate about TBL is that the couples tend to get together fairly quickly, and then, well, I say fairly quickly, usually around like the episode 7 mark, right? And then they tend to like break up, or
Yeah.
they break up or they split up around the episode 9 or 10 sort of mark.
And then we have maybe an episode or 2 of like angsty conflict, like crying.
But
a
then
homophobic dad.
Right.
There, you know.
Oh, don't even, literally. But then we, at the end we have them getting back together. So it's kind of interesting to me that they did actually show that much in the trailer, like, full on snogging kind of situation.
But then it does kind of show you a bit more of like I guess a twist. Like we see that he is in an elevator with another guy, right?
Yeah.
That's at one point in the trailer.
Yeah, and they're like, you can't own him.
Yeah, there's that whole side of it, and it's like interesting. So they are going to show like the difficulties and kind of nuances of, I guess, being gangsters and from different backgrounds. Again, we don't fully know what the plot is. We're just kind of like guessing from the trailer. But
And Perth.
Oh yeah.
Can't wait to see what happens with that.
Oh my god,
he's
yeah.
the one thing, we don't really have any indication of like who he's gonna. I mean, obviously some kind of villain.
Oh yeah, that was just like a big reveal, kind of, wasn't it?
But him just being there, and we were like, "Wow, Perth!"
What did he say? It was like he had one line. What was it like? It was like
Surprise,
what did he
bitch,
say?
bitch.
Surprise, bitch! It's me. It's Britney, bitch.
Hey, auntie.
It was something.
He had like a one-liner, and it was like clearly meant to be like a big like boom moment. Like
It was. I was like,
oh, it was
holy
for me.
shit.
For me.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I love you.
But then like nothing else. So that makes me think: is he just going to be in like one episode, or is he going to be like a constant throughout?
I get the impression that he is going to be like a villain, and that was the part they want to keep
secret.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
But maybe I could be wrong. But I was pleasantly surprised by him being there.
He does give me villain vibes as well. I'm hoping he's a villain.
That's what I'm so excited about, because otherwise he is just like, I know he played quite a stoic, like, serious-ish character.
Ice Prince.
Yeah, in My Engineer. But I like. But in real life, he just seems like this lovely, genuine, very sweet, gentle person. So I'm really excited to see him be like
a nasty boy,
a maniac. I hope.
Yes,
like
that is what
let's have him be
a maniac,
unhinged,
wow,
psychopathic, like just like eye twitching. You know what I mean? Like that's what I want to see, because I feel like he's got that range as well.
Yes, of course he does.
Yeah,
of course he does. He can do no wrong. He's perfect.
Oh my god,
he's perfect.
He's perfect. Oh my god,
perfection.
So, in conclusion, Kim Porsche, it looks like
In conclusion, Kim Porsche sexy.
Kim Porsche sexy, Maxwell sexy.
Maxwell sexy.
Perfect.
Perfect.
It looks like it's going to be
it's gonna be great.
We just watched the first episode that's just come out of History 4. What's the tagline for it? History 4?
Close to you.
Close to you? Yeah. It's very different. If you've seen History 3, particularly History 3 Trapped, which has like a really specific tone, vibe, feels very cinematic, this is way closer in kind of like tone to a kind of like a Thai rom-com, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think the reason it was such like a shock to the system is because we had Trapped and Make Our Days Count, which were heavier themes. They were kind of more artistically shot, and they seemed like they were higher budgets. And then all of a sudden this drops and it's a completely different style.
Let me find out who the director is, because from the get-go we were like, oh, this... I know that it's a TV show, but it looked like a TV show in a way that History 3, neither of the History 3 shows did.
Yeah, exactly.
It's giving me the screenwriter, and the screenwriter I think was the same screenwriter who did Make Our Days Count.
you have the main couple, which will obviously be the focus, who will be the focus for most of it, and then you'll have the side couple who, I'm guessing, because for Make Our Days Count, the side couple, well, they weren't actually. They weren't really a comedic relief.
No.
Because they had just as much kind of like angst.
Yeah, like a lot.
So maybe that'll be the same for this as well. Maybe the side couple will have just as much.
Well, the side couple from the first episode feels like it's going to be a deeply angsty, very serious, not nice at all.
But then the main couple seem like they're going to be the comedic relief.
Yeah, which that's kind of an interesting...
That's a weird kind of like, you know, role reversal, if that's going to be the case.
I'll have to see. I definitely enjoyed it. I thought that it seemed fun and funny, and the characters were kind of interesting. The setup is kind of interesting. There are a couple of funny misunderstanding moments that are setting up for bigger things, which I really like in a show. It was just so different to what I had been expecting. And I guess that kind of makes sense. Like, just because one thing's successful doesn't mean you're going to do something that's exactly the same to it. Like, if they tried to make another Trapped, maybe people would be extra critical of it because they'd be comparing it to the thing before. So
I wouldn't be.
You wouldn't be, no. second Trapped, we would take it.
Yeah, I was about to say it would even be like kind of fun if they just had like a little cameo like in the new series, like just, you know, like a silly kind of throwback. But
especially since we worked out that one of the exteriors that they're using is like the same that's in Trapped. It's the same that's in We Best Love.
Yeah, like we came up with a whole concept while watching this episode. We weren't actually paying attention that much, but we were thinking, what if we just have a series where all of those kind of exist at the same time, all in that same building, and like these storylines are happening at the same time, and they're like successively like having these scenes out on the balcony.
Love it.
And that would be so cool, I think, if we just had like a massive crossover.
It did feel very, very different, but I think it will be fun.
It was fast-paced enough and interesting to look at enough for a first episode, because sometimes a first episode of a series can be quite like a long thing to kind of get through.
Yeah.
Like, because it's like the setup episode, you know what I mean? So like you kind of just have to get through it, like, and then the show will start getting interesting afterwards. But as a first episode, it kept my attention as we were being introduced to these characters. Even though the editing and the visual style and the directing is very different, I think it's going to work, because some 50-minute episodes that I've watched feel 50 minutes long.
Right.
And I'm just like, oh, can we just get through this? Like I really liked the series, but Gen Y was like quite hard to get through because the episodes sometimes were just, I don't know, they just seemed to go on forever.
Yeah.
And I kept checking the little bar at the bottom and being like, oh, this still has like 20 minutes to go. Are you serious?
Right. A lot of TVLs to me feel like literally no editing has been done.
Right,
in terms of like cutting a scene down, it's like we'll chop between cameras, but like.
But I'm hoping this doesn't have too much editing. You know what I mean? There was a lot going on.
Lots of sound effects, it was a bit Edgar Wright-y at times.
Yeah, that's what we compared it most to. Like, if you know the director-writer Edgar Wright, I don't know, what would people know him best for?
Hot Fuzz, Shaun of the Dead.
Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
That's probably.
I guess that those would be his biggest ones, I guess. So if you don't know those films, then like you won't know him. But
look him up, he's great.
Yeah,
but
a very specific editing style,
dynamic.
Yeah,
lots of visual jokes.
Yeah. In conclusion, it was a good start.
Yeah, good start. Interesting. Definitely don't go in expecting History 3, but like be prepared to enjoy yourself.
Be open-minded. I think it's got potential. So yeah, we can't judge it off the first episode alone. So I'm interested to see where it's going, because so far like the side story and the main story are like kind of like, they're tropey, but I feel like they're kind of doing something a bit different with the tropes. So because when we first talked about it, we were like, oh, they're doing the same old like stepbrothers storyline, and then like, oh, it's fake dating, and but they're gonna fall in love, like very tropey rom-com. But I feel like maybe they might actually do something different with those tropes. So
see.
I don't know. I'm hoping that's going to be my prediction. It might be an optimistic guess, but I'm hoping they don't just, because it's history.
Right.
Like, they're good, you know.
I know, and the screenwriter is good, so that at least should be an indication that it's not going to be like, you know,
just the same
crap.
old crap. Like it shouldn't be. Like, especially at this point in the history.
Right.
Like, it's history 4 now. They shouldn't be going back to like the early history days where the concepts were a bit okay, you know. Like, they should be getting better and better.
Right.
So yeah, I'm optimistic about it.
Okay, so we've been watching already forgot what it's called, Lovely Writer, which is only a couple of episodes in, or at least the version we're watching is only a couple of episodes in. It's really fun. The concept is a writer who's kind of critically acclaimed, who's doing really well, is encouraged by his publisher to write a boys' love novel, and it's really successful and gets adapted into a TV show that he gets drawn into as, I don't know if it's specifically the screenwriter, but he is involved in the creative process of it. And the lead actor of the boys' love couple that are in the show is like really into him, and he will be eventually, I'm sure, but the relationship, the main couple is this writer and the actor in the show, and so there's this really fun meta element of it being like very much about the creation of a BL series and about BL like novels, and there's the fun dynamic between like the couple on screen and this real life couple, and Cal plays the actor, Cal from who is in Until We Meet Again. The writer, I can't think of anything else I've seen him in, but he's really great as well. The version that we're watching is the uncut version, so which is the only one that we've managed to get on WeTV. So at times it really feels like it's dragging,
okay.
But there are lots of really fun moments and fun jokes that if you were a fan of BL, like you will specifically feel like it is catered to you, because it's like very meta in that way.
Yeah.
But it's good. It's really fun. We're enjoying it. The dynamic between the main couple is really good. I would like to see a bit more of Nubsib's Cal's character, his personality, because right now he's very much sort of just like, I really like you, and that's like his whole thing. And we've got much more of a fleshed out version of who Jean is. Jean's the writer as a character. So yeah, I'm enjoying it, and there's some fun side characters in it as well.
I think I've only seen a couple of clips. There was one which felt really meta actually. It was with Kauno and Turbo actually. They had another little cameo, which
when they do like the casting, that's in the very first episode, and they show up.
And I said this in our Instagram. Kauno was wearing the famous jacket that I feel like pretty much all the BL actors have worn at one point, and I thought it was really cool, but also like they were making fun of themselves as like it's like a BL production company.
Totally.
But I really appreciated that. I was like, I get the levels that you're giving me. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, it's really fun. It's obviously made by people who like care about and are involved in a lot of other like BL production stuff, and it's just it's a fun dynamic for you not to be shipping the main couple of the show, but also it looks like from the last episode that we watched that the other person in the couple is going to kind of throw a bit of a spanner in the works. They're going to be like a bit of a love triangle, or maybe he's also going to be pursuing one of them, but they've left it quite unclear. Like he has some kind of motive, so it's it's a lot of fun, and check it out. I think you will enjoy it.
it's definitely one I'm going to check out. There's just so much to watch at the moment that I don't want to throw another series in there. I'm watching so much. Obviously, I'm watching Tale of a Thousand Stars.
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching the new Chinese romance drama Word of Honor, which I will get into at some point in a future episode because I'm obsessed. I'm also watching a series called You Make Me Dance.
What's that about?
So it's more of like a mini series. It's only got 8 episodes, and they're shorter episodes. So it's funnily enough, it's on WeTV, but only if I set my VPN to Thailand, which I haven't had to do for a while, actually.
Interesting.
Yeah. The concept initially made me think I want to watch this because it's about a dancer. And funnily enough, I think I mentioned this before at some point, like you don't often see characters with like an artsy background in BL. It's
true.
always like engineering or like medicine or, something like that.
Right.
But I think there really is like an audience out there for like more performance artsy inspired BL shows.
Yeah, totally. I mean, Theory of Love did a good job of it, so...
Yeah, exactly. So one of the main characters is a dancer, but he's in debt. I feel like this is like one of our BL pictures right now.
Right.
There's a dancer, he's in debt, and he's borrowed money from this loan company, and they want the money, so they've sent someone to like get the money from him, but he's like he's quite soft-hearted, this guy, and in the first episode, like straight away we see that he wants to leave the company. He doesn't want to do this work anymore, which straight away tells you that he's like a nicer guy than the job he's doing. He doesn't want to do it anymore. And I really like that. I like that we got his background straight away, but it didn't go on and on and on.
Right.
If you know what I mean. Like,
yeah.
You gave me this information about him, and that's all I needed to know to like make up my mind about what kind of person he is.
Right.
And I really appreciate that, seeing as they don't have a lot of time. They have like 8 episodes to fit a whole love story in. So I don't need to know necessarily their entire backgrounds. But that worked really well. And what episode am I on? I don't think I'm fully caught up yet, but I've watched maybe 4 episodes. The pacing is good. Is there a little bit of faffing about? Yes. Again, this seems to be like the thing for most series that we talk about, that the editing could be a bit snappier. I know for a fact that the dancer is an actual dancer. Like, the actor, he did this whole interview about how basically he just changed career paths and he decided he wanted to be a dancer. So I know he's an actual dancer, but like at least 4 episodes in, he hasn't fully shown that very well.
Oh, that's a shame.
I mean, there's a couple of points where he did some like really cool moves and stuff. But like there's whole bits where he's meant to be like obviously doing this really beautiful dance routine that's like inspiring the other guy, which makes the other guy want to help him with his money problems or something like that. And so it's meant to be like this really like awe-inspiring routine that he's doing, and the other guy's like, oh my god, like the love of my life. But from what I can see, it's like he's just doing a lot of like arms and like spinning and like, and I'm just like, oh, do you have a choreographer for this, or are you just making this up on the spot? Because it doesn't seem like you're an actual dancer.
Do you think they're keeping like, there's going to be like a bit of a reveal where you get like a full routine and then it's like, wow,
but then what's the point? I don't see the point in that.
If he's a dancer, use that skill from
the
beginning. If
you're making it seem that this lone guy is basically falling in love with him because he's like dancing like is inspiring him, then make the dancing better. I'm not really getting that from his dancing. I was watching the dance and I was being a bit like, are you sure you're going to win this competition, Han? Like, at the moment, you're not really giving me much. So, there's a few teething problems, I think. It might sort itself out with the next 4 episodes, but so far, I like the concept. I like the pacing. Yeah, there's quite a few good, like, kind of little mini-series floating around out there at the moment, which, yeah, it's keeping me occupied.
Yes.
It's keeping me occupied, and I think it's a way of maybe production companies putting less tropey stuff out there, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I agree.
Because, like, people might not want to invest in a concept that isn't necessarily done a lot.
Right.
But they're willing to make maybe a short series out of it to see if it works, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So I think maybe that's what's happening here. But I want more performance-based BLs. I want, like, a musical BL.
Wouldn't that be so good?
Yes.
But that's the one we need to write.
I mean, again, Love Stage is going to kind of...
do some of that.
Do some of that as well. So yeah, I'm fully excited for that.
So we have some recommendations for some new-ish BL or queer media for you guys. I will go first. One you've probably heard of if you are interested in the Untamed, if you're on Danmei Twitter or anything like that, is Word of Honor. So, Word of Honor. It's just finished airing if you're watching it on Youku or on a streaming service like that. It is still being uploaded to YouTube with English subtitles, so if that's how you want to watch it, we're not quite finished with the uploads on YouTube. However, you have to start it, you have to watch it, it's great. If you like The Untamed, if you like other Danmei stuff, previously on the podcast we've recommended Guardian. This is it's based on a novel by the same author, Priest. Also, if you're a fan of Wang Yibo, I guess I'm just going to go through all of our fandoms. Legend of Fae is also based on a novel written by Priest. So Word of Honor is based on a Danmei by Priest called Faraway Wanderers, I think. It is another wuxia supernatural, really the most BL of any mainstream Chinese or mainland Chinese dramas I have ever seen. It's really funny.
It's a treat.
It is a treat. They really don't... I mean, here's the other thing that's interesting I've heard about. So they... I don't want to give too much of the plot away. Basically, it's two dudes. There's not very much that I can say about it without giving away some quite important things about the plot. So just give it a go, watch for 5 or 6 episodes and see how you feel. Their chemistry is really wonderful, the acting is really good. It has the best martial arts fight sequences of any of the Chinese dramas I've seen.
Love the fight sequences. I don't know
so
who
well
choreographed
edited.
them, but like the slow-mo I am so into.
Yeah.
And just like the choreo in general, I'm like, hell yeah.
I think you can really see in some dramas, and this isn't necessarily a bad thing, the wire work that they do, because there's a lot of spinning, flying, flipping, just being in the air generally, which is good fun. Word of Honor is one of the few series I've seen where their fight scenes are very seamless and you really aren't thinking about the fact that people are doing wire work. If you've seen Legend of Fae, even quite a lot in The Untamed, you can tell that these people are on wires and it's a little bit obvious in the back of your mind when you're watching it. This is edited so much better. It's very dynamic, very fluid. It hits all the beats and it's really fun to watch from that perspective, because that tends to be like my least favourite part of...
And it's interesting because this was really low budget in terms of wuxia dramas, and...
Yeah, whoever their DP is, they've done a beautiful job of like... the whole series, all of their framing and their creative choices in terms of like what you're looking at is very, very carefully considered and really well done, so... I love it for that, but it's a wonderful, quote unquote soulmate story. I think they go a bit further with it than The Untamed was able to do, in terms of it being a bit more explicitly romantic. And also I've read that the version on Youku, so if you have been watching it there and you've finished it already, it has been slightly censored, and the version on YouTube has more scenes that have been like more romantic, touchy-feely scenes that have been cut out of that version, so it's worth rewatching on YouTube.
That makes sense because,
Right, because Youku's a Chinese streaming app and they, there's a certain amount of censorship that goes on there, but it is being uploaded. I think every couple of days a new episode is being put up on YouTube.
Basically, it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah, but it's great. It's really good fun. I would highly, if you watch The Untamed, if you just like Chinese dramas in general, if you like other Danmei stuff, if you've seen Nirvana in Fire, one of the lead actors is also in that, so like that they have also been in other things. It's just I can't say too much. It's fantasy ancient China, just like a lot of these are, and the characters are really fun, the costumes are beautiful, it's really well filmed, it's really good fun. I would recommend watching it.
Yeah, I fully agree with that recommendation, and I'm going to come at you once again with a Western queer recommendation. I'm going to go a bit more actual BL this time, because last time was literally like, watch Torchwood, it's great, it has some gay content. But this time I'm going to go with a not very well known Irish film. So this is called Handsome Devil. I happened upon it on Netflix just randomly, and I thought it looked good, and I really enjoyed it. It's a 2016 Irish film. It did the film circuit in 2016. It was officially released in cinema 2017. So this was Netflix's synopsis for it. Does not mention that it's in any way queer.
Interesting.
But anyway.
Yeah.
Two opposites, a loner and the top athlete, become friends at a rugby-obsessed boarding school, and the authorities test their friendship.
Their friendship.
Here we go with the friendship thing. Come on, Netflix.
Interesting.
And I know what else will make it right up your street.
Go on.
It has Andrew Scott in it.
Oh, I love Andrew Scott.
Mm-hmm. Andrew Scott plays a gay teacher who is kind of the role model to these boys who are starting to figure out their feelings and their sexuality. I would say he's like the third main character, but very enjoyable performance. Like I said, it reminds me very much of BL just from that synopsis. You have a main couple-ish in a school environment, figuring out, who they are and like their feelings towards each other, also who they are in terms of their sexuality. And I tried looking up when this is set, and I've discovered that actually it's purposely not mentioned when it's set.
Interesting.
Yeah, so we purposely don't know when it's set, however, we can gather that it is some sort of in the past.
Right.
They do heavily use kind of 70s to 80s music in the soundtrack and as part of the story, so I think for me, in my mind, it would kind of be in the 80s, maybe 80s, late 80s, something like that. That's how it seemed to me. But it doesn't officially have a time period. And when you see the film, I think you kind of realise why. That someone, I don't know if it's the director or the writer or who, clearly has a main focus in terms of how queer sexuality is shown in Ireland and how it's accepted in Ireland. And especially because this is a all-boys boarding school and it's heavily focused around rugby. I mean, that's kind of like the most kind of, masculine thing you could probably think of.
Right.
And then juxtapose that with the other main theme, which is actually music. The boys kind of grow together and grow their relationship together through music, which is another fun little BL trope that I thought of. They learn guitar together, which I was like, hello.
How many series can we count where that is the the catalyst?
It's a super cute storyline. They're just two boys. I mean, I think the end goal is they want to perform at like is it a competition or just like a concert? Some kind of competition/concert thing at another boarding school.
Which again, like another BL thing.
Right?
Like some vague performance
This
somewhere.
is like the most Thai BL, not Thai BL, like film
Amazing.
I've ever seen. Yeah, and that's like just the end goal. They just want to like perform at this thing just because. They don't even want to win, really. They just want to do it.
Oh.
And obviously along the way they're met with a lot of resistance and homophobia. It really reminds me actually of Your Name Engraved Herein.
All right.
Like, just in terms of how the story goes, the main themes, and especially how it ends. I'm not going to tell you how it ends, but it's a similar-ish ending, and I didn't know anything about this film. I just saw it on Netflix. I was like, oh, Andrew Scott. Oh, it's about gay.
Oh,
I don't know how I knew that.
Oh, it's about gay.
I don't know how I knew that, because obviously the synopsis doesn't tell you that it's about queer content.
I feel like we've watched so much at this point. You
I
just
feel like
pick it up like a vibe.
I instinctively knew this is gonna be queer.
Yeah.
So like I wanna
I want a piece of this.
yeah, literally. And I watched it, I was like, this was good.
Yeah.
This was like unexpectedly like a gem. Yeah, I really recommend Handsome Devil. It is on Netflix for the UK. I'm not sure about other domains, hopefully. If you like other content that is like Thai BL, that has the same themes as Thai BL, that film definitely does. It really reminds me of a Thai BL,
It sounds
but like
wonderful.
Irish.
Yeah.
We've just spent this episode really just catching up with what we've been watching, updates, because it has been about 3 months, maybe even longer, since we last recorded an episode. So there's just been a lot going on in the BL community. So we just wanted to just have a bit of a chat this episode, ease us back into our new season for the podcast. We'll get back to our normally scheduled episodes in the new season. We have a YouTube channel now, if you didn't already know. We've been subbing the episodes for those people who can't necessarily understand us. I know there are people out there who might struggle to understand us, even if you do speak English.
We speak pretty quickly.
Yeah, we speak quickly, and the English accent can be strange sometimes.
Yeah.
Especially because we're both from different parts of the country, so
Right.
we both speak differently, so it might confuse people. But yeah, hopefully, if you really want to listen to the podcast but might not be able to because of that, we're on YouTube now, fully English subbed. So you can just search in YouTube, That's Such BL, we should just pop up. It's the same logo as we use as everything, so,
so
you can't
check it
really
out,
miss
please.
it. Yeah.
And we'll also be posting not just podcast stuff there, but some other longer videos and things like that. Yeah, so check us out on there. It would really help if you subscribed. If you're not already following our podcast account, please do. If you have any thoughts on anything we talked about, reach out. We literally love it. It makes our day when people reach out to talk to us about podcast stuff. So please feel free. We are very, very open to having a good old chat in our DMs about any of our opinions, or if you have things to recommend to us, we would love to hear about new shows or things that you think we should be watching.
Yeah, absolutely. If you want to hear us talk about anything in particular on the podcast, please let us know. Like,
yeah, what would you like to see in season 2? We have a bit of a plan, but if you've got like other stuff that you think would be cool to hear, tell us. I will try our best to make it happen.
Absolutely. Yeah, we love you guys. So if there's something that you want to listen to, you're the viewer, you're the listener, we'll try and accommodate that.
Exactly. Thank you so much for your continued support. Thanks for listening to our first episode of season 2. Hopefully you'll keep listening and enjoy the rest of the season.
Bye.
Bye. We also run at Thai BL Memes over on Instagram, and our podcast-specific account is at That's Such BL Podcast, where you can follow us for updates and extra content. You can also listen to future episodes on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or your podcast app of choice. Thanks for listening.